let's talk some more about the Premier League, and I'm joined by the magazine publisher, football commentator and all-round sports addict Shoggy Tosh. And Troy Townsend is here. He is the education and development manager at the anti-racism in football group Kick It Out. Now, Troy, I have to say before we carry on our chat, thank you for taking your time out from your busy schedule. He has a very popular show.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. It's nice to be back, to be honest.
All right, let's start with the league leaders, Chelsea. Now, they face Newcastle. Now, it's going to be a tricky visit for them up north. Do you believe that Newcastle can actually stop them in their tracks?
I might have done about 10 days ago, but they've kind of stopped the great run that they've had recently. But it's a tricky fixture for Chelsea. You know, going up to Newcastle is not. They haven't done very well there lately, and I suppose this is a great opportunity for Newcastle to get themselves back on track. But Mourinho has spent well, and I thought that they were champions, but before the season even started. So, you know, he's without Costa the other night. Drogba and Remy have both contributed to what was a great result against Spurs.
So and that probably hurt you a little bit just to say that.
Well, yeah, it does, yeah. But I would imagine Chelsea, the way they've been, the formidable side, I think Cahill's fit as well, so I would imagine that Chelsea would win. It won't be easy, but I imagine they'll sneak an away win, and Mourinho will be more than happy with that.
Shoggy, what do you think about this fixture? Can Newcastle actually stop them?
In football, you can never say never, you know, because you know, at times it depends on the tactics that you use. Basically, at times you might just pat the buzz and just nick the odd goal. I quite like Amoybi. He's had a good form, although at times it's not that consistent. But Chelsea is just going to do it. You know, you just know that they're gonna do it. They have enough quality to get.
So
the points.
You're saying that they could score past them. I mean, the Magpies haven't conceded they've conceded 3 goals in their last 7 league games. Yeah,
they look solid, and I quite like Newcastle. You know, especially from what happened earlier. You know, when it looked like Paddy will get the sack and what have you, but. Again, in football, you never know. You could see the interesting thing, at Man City when they conceded a goal and then they just scored, 4 times. So you just never know with football. But I think maybe Newcastle might nick a goal here or there, but Chelsea will get the point.
Well, funny enough, talking about Manchester City, are they a one-man squad at the moment? Because Aguero has just been unbelievable. He's really pulled them from the depths.
He's always been outstanding, but it's just like obviously the whole squad loses quality. So at times she focus. At times we sit here, we talk about Silva, but he's out injured, and then now the focus is on Aguero. But football is a team, and you win games, obviously by playing as a team. I think they'll miss Company. Because he's a solid, base, at the back, and
he's the company. He's the captain.
He's the captain. Yeah. They'll miss him, and I'm not happy, with Man City's back, but Aguero scores the goals, and against Everton it's going to be tricky because Everton, they just really want to kind of announce themselves. They too, when they play, they've been, normally Everton always they have a solid back, but Martinez nowadays is just kind of like advancing a little bit more. So it will be quite interesting to see how that
Martinez,
goes.
An amazing manager. How do you think this game's going to go?
I'll go for City again with Aguero in hot form. I think at the end of the day, all good sides have one person who puts the ball in the back of the net. Earlier in the season, it was Diego Costa for Chelsea. Aguero's now finding his feet again. I don't think we realise the impact of the World Cup on a lot of these players, and some of them would have started really slow because of the World Cup. But he's coming into form now, and he was absolutely fantastic on Wednesday night. And I understand the problems that they may have at the back, but I think with Everton, they're not the Everton that they were last season at the moment as well. They're playing a lot of Europa League games.
What are they missing at the moment? What are Everton missing?
Just a little bit of consistency, and I think they've lost MacArthur in the middle of the park as well with Barry, and I think that is, that's the base of their side, the backbone of their side. Lukaku's a little bit hit and miss at the moment, and I think it's really that base to stop the ball, to stop their, the attacks going the other end. But I think City at home, it's not been as good as what it has been, but I think with Aguero in the form that he is, I would go for a City win.
OK, well, turning our attentions to Liverpool and to Captain Fantastic, Steven Gerrard. Now, is he over the hill? Does he have a future with the club, or should he just cut his losses and just actually maybe go to America? I mean, is he still needed in the Liverpool side?
It's far too early for Steven Gerrard to be going anywhere. He is Liverpool Football Club, and you see when Gerrard's not around as well. And Liverpool haven't spent money well, and not spending money well, the onus goes on players like Gerrard. He's not the player that he was before. He's past 30 now, and they have to utilise him, I think, in a different way than what they are at the moment. And I think I think they're still looking for this squashbuckling, all-action midfielder, and he's not that. So I think there's very much, while they're in their transition stage, and this is what they are in, I think there's still a need for a leader, and he is just that.
Do you agree with him?
Yeah, I do agree. Gerard wouldn't agree because, like, even though he's 34, he just wants to play. You know, you could see that he's just being a professional, saying, "Oh, I don't want to talk about my contract. I just want to get on with it." But you can see that, you know, he really wants to play, and the goal announced, you know, his intentions. But just as Troy said, Liverpool are not having it as easy as they should because of the signings and what have you. Balotelli is not helping.
No, he isn't, bless him. He's a gift that keeps on giving, isn't it? OK, gentlemen, thank you very much. We'll see you in part 2. OK, let's talk some more to our guests, the magazine publisher and football commentator Shoggy Tosh, and Troy Townsend, the education and development manager at the Anti-Racism in Football Group, Kick It Out, and he's also a TV star now. Now, as you've heard, that we have the MLS final, the New England Revolution against LA Galaxy. Now, who do you think is going to come out on top in this one?
LA Galaxy, I think.
Why? Why LA Galaxy?
I just feel that they're more, you know, renowned, and they quite settled. Do you understand? And the hunger is there. You know, they just want to kind of like do this. They have I like the way they play. You know, they just play as a team, and I just think they'll just nick it.
Yeah, we like team players. We don't like one-man teams, do we?
Well, every team's going to have their star, and I think for Galaxy to win this game, Robbie Keane is going to have to come to the fore. Obviously, Revolution of the current form team, but they're going into their first final. Galaxy know what it's all about, but they're going to need Robbie Keane, I think, to be able to be the Robbie Keane that we know over here in England. And I think if they are, I'll probably just go for them to nick it as well. But it will be a tough game.
Well, Robbie Keane's actually really settled in to the way of life, I suppose, in the MLS. How difficult is it from someone to come from the Premier League and settle in the MLS? In your opinion?
There's a lot of pressure because, you know, when you come from England and you come over to America, you're seen as a star straight away, so you've got to hit the ground running. I think it's a lot easier for forwards because you're judged on your goals. And Robbie Keane will score goals wherever he goes, apart from Liverpool. But, you know, it's not as hard as what people make it out to be because, no disrespect to the MLS, the level is not what he's been at for the last 13, 14 years. And I think that with Robbie, he can have an off day and he'll still pop a couple of goals in and everyone will say what a great game he's had. So it's not as difficult as what it's probably made out. OK,
well, it might not be as difficult as it's made out, but Jermaine Defoe doesn't seem to be settling in.
I was just going to say that. I was going to disagree a little bit with Troy there because, like, Defoe, you know, always, you know, gets goals, you know. He's always got goals, but, you know, he's not really doing too well there, and there's been rumours that maybe he might come back to QPR and what have you.
That's why he's not doing well. That's why
he wants to come back. He wants to be with Harry again, doesn't he?
Yeah, exactly.
But Robbie Keane, you know, I'm a huge fan of Robbie Keane, and he's always done well either, you know, on the international scene or the club scene. As Troy said, he'll be key, you know, definitely in that game. OK,
do you think Defoe's actually going to come back to the Premier League?
Yeah.
OK, you've heard it first. Do you think it's going to come back as well?
I don't think so, you know.
Well, if Harry's calling him, then he'll come back.
He'll be back, don't worry about that, yeah.